All right, here you go. So, the chapter 7 and 8, this is part 2 of the scenario that we did last time. So, the first one, we to get a huge difference between the two. The first one that we did was involving May transactions. This time, we're going to follow through with June transactions. It's a continuation, I guess you could say it like that. But we're going to start off again with the account balance as 0. Okay. So here it says right here, you're going to, your inventory tracking method is going to be perpetual and is LIFO. Assume that sales tax is 8.25%. So in this case, we are given that we are doing LIFO. Okay. So let's take a look at June 3rd. Okay, you purchased 1,000 black mugs for $3.65 each, with a freight costing $100. Okay, on an account from Cuppies Co. Would they give us terms of 5%, 15, net 30? Okay, so you have the choice here whether you want to journalize it first or post it to the inventory worksheet. In this case, so yeah, I'm gonna let you guys. What do you guys want to do? You want to journalize it first or put it into inventory worksheet?
Let's journalize it first.
Okay. So here's your chart of accounts. If I purchased 1,000 black mugs, right, and the freight is going to be $100, and I placed it on an account, what should my journal look like?
Just inventory and I wasn't really I didn't really see the when was it just cash or not on account? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just inventory and on account.
Okay, account what?
Account payable and mugs.
Good, perfect, right? So again, you're gonna debit mugs the inventory, and you're gonna place it on an account, to on account. So here, journal. It is June. Did I say June 5th? June 3rd. Let me see. June 3rd. Okay, June 3rd. Right. We purchased 1,000 black mugs. Okay, on an account. Okay, inventory is 150, accounts payable is 201. Now, how much is going to be my grand total? If each item, okay, I purchase 1,000 black mugs at $3.65 each, with the freight costing $100.
It would be 3,750.
3,750. Okay, so in this case, right, if you're using Excel, you can go ahead and figure this number out. Okay, so 3,650 plus 100 gives it 3,750. Okay, and because you placed it on an account, this is what I normally want you guys to do. You're going to recognize who you purchased this from. So Cuppies Co. Okay, we bought 1,000 mugs at $3.65 each. And we bought it on an account, which they gave me terms of 5% if I pay within 15 days. If not, it's due in 30. Okay. So then Let's double check this. Yeah. Okay, Cuppies Cove terms 5%, 15 net 30. All right. So then I'm going to plug it into my inventory worksheet. Okay, the date is June 3rd. We're going to skip over the cost of goods section here. So the purchases, right, we bought 1,000 units at $3.65 each. And my purchase price is going to be the 3,650. And because we had freight of 100, it brought us 3,750. So then what is going to be my cost per item here?
3.75.
$3.75 each. Good. Okay. So this case, this is our first batch of inventory. So I'm going to carry it amount over. So this is 1,000 units at $3.75 each, which should give me my running balance of 3,750. Now, whatever you want to do, whether you want to keep track of it or color it, code it, this is where it's up to you. It's fair game, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to leave it like that in my inventory. Okay. All right. So then let's go ahead and see what happened next. June 5th rolls around and you end up returning 50 of the 50 broken mugs for a full refund. Right? How should I journalize this if I'm returning 50 of them because they were broken for a full refund? Okay, I'm refunding 50 broken mugs. What account did I actually place my mugs in?
Oh, inventory. Yeah. You put use a account payable, debit that, and then credit the inventory.
Correct, because in this case, right, we're reversing the transaction, or in this case, we are undoing or returning, right? So in this case, because I didn't make a payment to this vendor yet, it's gonna automatically decrease the amount that I owe. Okay? And because I'm recognizing my mugs, because that's where I placed them, since I don't have 50 of them anymore, okay, then I need to take it out from my mugs. Okay, so 201 and 150. Now, how much is it gonna cost me if I return 50 of them?
It would be 182.50.
$182.50. Okay? And
Do
then
we have to add tax too?
say that again?
Do we have to add the tax? Or no?
I'm sorry, what was the last thing that do we have to what?
Add taxes to that or no?
Were we ever taxed?
Not yet, I guess.
In this case, most likely you're going to have a tax exempt for because you are a vendor to customer relationship, or in this case, this is a provider to you. So in this case, if there was tax, then yes, you're going to return it. But in this case, there's no tax here.
Okay, I'm getting confused because since we do this part of it first as opposed to the data worksheet, then it's I don't know, for me it's usually easier to do the data and then just plug it into the journal.
Okay, we can do that from now on, yes. So in this case, let me go ahead and just make my note here that I returned 50 mugs at $3.65 each for full refund. Okay, so if I do go back to my inventory worksheet, okay, and it's June 5th now, right? We are refunding 50 of those mugs. Now, how much does it cost me per item to return? $3.65, because in this case, we cannot refund shipping, right? Shipping is what you had to pay extra to get those items to your store. So in this case, what is my total cost that I am refunding for?
The 182.50, I believe.
The 182.50. Now, how do I get rid of this off of my worksheet? Well, that's where you're going to have to come over here and you're going to have to refigure out these numbers here. So in this case, right, I had 1,000, right? Now you have a couple things that you can do here. You can figure out the numbers here, or you can exchange this number here and start calculating that area right there. So in this case, 1,000 minus 50 is going to give you 950. Okay? Now in this case, right, we have a new cost per item because we end up returning some extra money, right? Therefore, we need to resolve for our average cost per item. Now again, you can do this where you can figure out your numbers here. So in this case, 3750 minus 182.50. Okay, parentheses, divided by my total number of units of 850. So what should be my cost per item here?
You put 850, isn't it supposed to be 950?
Yes, sorry. Let me refix that. Thank you. Okay. So again, you can also figure out this number here by, taking the 3750 minus the 182.50, right? Which should give you 3567.50 if I'm not mistaken, if that's correct or not correct. So yes. So you could do it that way, or what you could have done too is you could have solved your total right here to be 3567, and then do the calculation here of the 3567. I'm not even typing anything incorrectly. 3567.50 divided by 950, and you could get the same exact thing right here where it is $3.07. If I expand it, 75526, and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay. So that's how you could solve that one, any way that you want to solve it. As long as you get this, that there are only 950 units left, okay, costing at a grand total of $3,000. $3,567.50. That's the most important thing there. And then of course the cost per item, since we're using LIFO, is going to also change as well. Okay. All right. So then let's go ahead and see what happened next. That very same day, June 5th, you end up selling 100 mugs for $10 each for cash. Okay, so let's take a look at my chart of accounts, because in this case, you do need to journalize the sale first before you can figure out the cost of goods sold.
So you would use cash, uh, debit cash, and then credit sales, and then sales tax payable, and then cost of goods sold, and then mugs.
Correct. Good. Good. So that's the whole thing that you're going to be doing there, is that you're going to be journalizing that whole thing there. So first things first is you're going to recognize that we received cash, right? And then of course we sold some things. We have sales, and then we have sales tax payable. Okay, so I believe this is 102. Sales is 401. Sales tax payable is 230. Okay. So in this case, right, if I sold, how many mugs did I sell? If I sold a total of 100 mugs on June 5th for $10 each, okay, how much is going to be my total sales?
Just 1,000.
1,000, all right. How much tax am I going to be collecting?
82.50.
82.50. All right. So therefore, grand total cash I'll be collecting is $1,082.50. Okay. And of course, up to you if you want to put your sold here, but we recognize that there's a cost of goods sold. And we're going to take it out from our inventory at mugs. Okay. So cost of goods sold account is account number 501. Mugs is 150. Okay. So then let's go ahead and plug those numbers into our inventory worksheet, because we need to solve for how much it's going to cost me to sell 100 mugs, right? So what's my cost per item going to be?
375 to 375 times 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then what is going to be my total cost of goods sold here?
375.
375. 553. In this case, we're looking at every single penny. So in this case, I need to update my inventory because I no longer have 100 items anymore. Now again, there's two ways you could do it. You can solve for it by subtracting this number here. So 950 minus 100, okay, should give you a remaining of 3,191 and 57 cents. Okay. Again, if you had this at what it was before, so let me see, if it was 3,750 minus 182.50, okay, you can also come over here and also edit that as well. Since we already have the cost per item, that will never change. Okay, so if you want to do it this way too, you can, just to get a more accurate answer. So in this case, you would take 3,576.50 minus the 375.53 to get the same exact answer to 3191.97. But this one's going to be more accurate because you're using rounded numbers. You wouldn't get that you know, discrepancy where you have an extra penny because you're looking at it at a rounded number. Okay? So that's that. So now the number that I'm looking at here is going to be 375.53. So that's what I'm going to plug in here. 375.53. So then now I can say you sold 100 mugs. Okay. So then let's see what happened next. Okay. June 10 rolls around and you end up selling an additional 250 units, mugs, at $10 each. But this time you sold it to customer A on an account. Terms are 10%, 15, net 30. So in this case, we sold to customer A. So therefore, customer A placed it on an account. So how do we recognize this journal? How are we going to record this?
With the account receivable and then sales, the sales tax payable and cost of goods sold.
Good. Correct, right? This time we're recognizing a sale, but we're not using cash. Instead, we're using it on account receivable. So account number 103. So you're going to do the same thing here, except it's account receivable. Okay. So again, this is account receivables 103, 401, and 230. Now in this case, if I sold, okay, a total of 250 mugs at $10 each to customer A, then how much is going to be my total sales?
2,500.
2,500. How much tax are we going to be collecting?
$206.25.
Good. So then in grand total, how much does customer A owe me?
2,706.25.
Okay. And then of course you're going to recognize here that you sold 250 mugs to customer A, and you gave customer A terms 10%, if they paid within 15 days. If not, the whole thing is due in 20 or 30 days. Let me double check that. I think it was supposed to be 10 days. Nope, 15, net 30 for selling it to customer A on an account. Okay. And of course, we also have to recognize our cost of goods sold here because we sold something to customer A, right? So this is where we have to figure it out, right? Because we sold 250 mugs to customer A. Right? So let's go ahead and figure that number out. Right? If I sold on June 10, 250 mugs at how much? What's my cost per item?
375
Okay.
63.
So then what's my total amount what's my total cost of goods sold?
On 93.88.
93.80.
I think I missed a decimal or something.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So carry one more over. Should give you 938.82. Right? So in this case, right, I no longer have 850, right? I have 850 minus 250, which should give you 600. Okay? And in this case, I no longer have 3,191.97. So 319, whoops, equal 3,191.97 minus my 93882 should give me a total of 2,293.15. Now it's up to you. I prefer to just actually have my total cost be figured out and calculated by just doing that. But as you can see here, this is where I got my discrepancy because it should be 5, right? Not 16. Okay, so I end up adding an extra penny somewhere. So if I expand this out, it's actually 15.8. Okay, so in this case, I have an extra penny here. So I need to make sure it's 2253.15 instead of 16. Okay. So I've mentioned this before, right? This is where you have to do your calculations very carefully because we're dealing with unrounded numbers, and then when we sell it, we're going to be dealing with rounded numbers when we do that. So whatever method that you want to use here, this is just a quick and easy one, so I don't have to calculate it. But now I have to know that it's actually 15, not 16, because if we started with 7 minus 2 pennies, it's going to give you 5, not 7. So whichever way that you want to do it, again, I prefer to just keep it like this so then I know. But it can be very confusing because especially when you're trying to keep track of it, it may not be ideal. So in this case, I can just go back and revert it back to what it was before and then just subtract it out like this so I get a more accurate number. Okay? But again, this never changes because it is LIFO. We already figured out what the cost per item is, so that's going to stay consistent throughout the entire time that we have this batch of inventory. Okay. So then, what has happened next? On the same day, June 12, we end up purchasing an additional 500 mugs for $3.75 each, with the freight costing 50 Okay, and again, it's on an account for Cuppies Co. Terms are 5%, 15 net 30. So in this case, we bought 500 mugs at $3.75 with a freight of 50. So let's go ahead and just plug it into our inventory worksheet first, and then we'll plug our answers into the journal. So in this case, I purchased 500 units at $3.75 with the freight of $50. So what's my purchase price going to be?
One 1,875.
Good. Plus 50. Hold. Oh, my bad. I typed in the 375. There you go.
1,925.
Good. So in this case, what is going to be my cost per item here?
385.
$3.85 each. Now let's see, is that evened out or is it actually not? In this case, it's an even $3.85 each. Now this is because we're using LIFO, right? We're gonna add this entry in here since we need to keep track of what came first and what came last. So we got 500 at $3.85 each, which should give me a grand total of this right here. Okay. Now this is where you could also create your little calculation here so you know how many units you have on hand at all times. Okay. So in this case, equals sum. So I have a total of 1,100 units at a grand total of the 41.7815. Okay. Right. So then now I can journalize it that I have a total cost of $19.25, and that's what I owe. $19.25. So what is it? 612, right? We bought mugs, which cost $19.25. Okay. So again, we purchased from Cuppies Co. 500 mugs at $3.75 each. 5%, 15 net 10, not 30. Okay. So then we end up returning 100 mugs once again because they were the wrong size. Now, of course, the vendor convinced us to keep these large cups because you could still sell them. Nothing's wrong with them. They're just the wrong one. However, because they made a mistake, they decided to offer you a 25% discount because they were not the right size. So in this case, let's go ahead and calculate this. If 100 of those mugs are being discounted at 25%, right? Let's go ahead and figure this number out here. So we could do that. We could do it in our inventory worksheet, right? In this case, are we actually returning anything?
No.
No. So in this case, I'm going to make sure that I put this in here that I'm not returning anything. However, each cup is going to cost me $3.75 each. Now, in this case, my total cost is going to be 100 times 375 times negative 0.25%, right? 25% is what I am getting a discount for. So in this case, how much is my discount?
$93.75.
$93.75 each. So once again, you're going to have to do that same calculation on the side here because in this case, I still have all 500 units. However, I got discounted for this amount here. So I'm no longer at 1925, right? I am actually $93 less, right? So $93 less here. So then what is going to be my new cost per item? It's no longer $3.85, right? It's going to be 1831.25 divided by 500. So what's my cost per item going to be here now?
It's gonna be 366.25.
366.25, right? It dropped by a lot. Okay. So there we have it. There's that right there. So the number that we're looking for the returns is $93.75 each. So go back to my journal. Okay. I made a return slash allowance. So once again, I never made a payment to Puppies Co. So therefore, it's going to reduce my accounts payable. Okay. Okay. For $93 and
75.
75 cents. Okay. So then let's see what happened next. June 16 rolls around and you end up selling 600 mugs at $10 each to customer B on an account. 10%, 10 net 30. So this guy gets a shorter terms because this guy's going to owe me a lot of money. So in this case, you sold 600 mugs at $10 each to customer B. So we sold to customer B, right? we sold 600 mugs to customer B, right? On an account for 10%, 10, net 30. So in this case, if I sold 600 mugs to customer B on an account, what's my total sales going to be?
$6,000.
Okay, how much tax am I going to be charging?
$495.
$495. So therefore, customer B owes me a grand total of $6,495. Right? So now we got to figure out what's my cost of goods sold going to be if I sold 600 mugs to customer B. So cost of goods sold was 501 and 150. Okay. So let's go ahead and figure out that number in our inventory worksheet. Okay. So this time, right, which method of inventory are we going to be using? What's my inventory method I'm going to be using?
Last in, first out. You're gonna be using the 500. The one that is 503.66.
Good, the one that we just purchased, right? In this case, we're going to sell the whole entire batch. Right, since we know it's going to be 500 and we know we're going to take out this whole entire batch of inventory here, we are going to assume, okay, equal round, that we sold a total of 1831.25. So in this case, right, we're going to get rid of this batch of inventory right here because it no longer exists. Right? However, what else are we going to be doing? Oh, I self-referenced. So what was it? 500. Okay, so we got rid of the 500. Okay. How many more do we need to sell?
100.
Yes, right? We have a total of 600 units that we sold. So my cost per item is going to be the 37553. So in this case, what is the total cost if I sold 100 of this batch right here?
$375.53.
Okay, 37553, giving me a grand total of 600 units costing at $2,206.78. So here I need to change this because I no longer have 600, I have 500. And then, of course, my amount here is no longer 2253915. So 225,315. 225,315. It is now less 375.53, which should give you a total of 1877.62. Okay. So then here's our number. 2206.78 is going to be my total cost of goods sold. 2206.78. Okay. So then what happened on the 18th?
They make a return.
They end up refunding 100 mugs for a full refund. Okay. So in this case, if customer B decides to make a full refund, how are you going to journalize this?
Use sales returns and allowance, and then sales tax payable, and then account receivable.
Good, right? In this case, we have a sales returns and allowances for account number 406. 406, and then we're going to return the sales tax that we charged, and then we're going to reduce the account receivable since they didn't pay yet. So in this case, sales number of account 406. We're going to return the sales tax that we charged. And then last but not least, we're also going to reduce the amount that they owe me. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and make a note here that customer B returned 100 mugs for full refund. Okay, so let's figure out what that, so how much was, if I originally charged $10 each, then how much is going to be my return for?
1,000.
1,000. So therefore, how much tax am I going to be refunding?
$82.50.
$82.50. So therefore, in grand total, I'm going to be reducing account B's account by $10.82.50. Okay. So of course, if I'm going to be refunding, and this is for a full refund, therefore, am I returning the product back to my inventory?
Yes.
Yes. So how do I journalize that?
You would get the mugs and then cost of goods sold.
Correct, right? You're going to have mugs, and you're going to refund it through the cost of goods sold. Because in this case, we unsold, or we're refunding. So therefore, we never sold this amount in the first place. So let's go ahead and figure this out. Now, how do I do that if my inventory worksheet is using the LIFO method? How do I return if I'm going to be using the LIFO method? Am I going to return each item at 366 or 375? Okay, in this case, because the rules are going to state like this, since, right? Let's take a look at my inventory. How many batches of inventory do I have right now? You have 500 left, right, from batch one. In this case, when you are going to be refunding a product, what you're going to do is you're going to look at what you have on hand. In this case, since I already calculated and I got rid of my last batch for the $3.66, therefore I only have $3.75 items left, right? My first batch of inventory left. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, because that's the indicator that I only have that left, that's going to tell me that I have to put the money back into that specific account. So in this case, I'm going to reverse my 100 items at the cost of the 375. So in this case, that's going to give me the refund for the 375.53, and that's going to put that money back. Now in this case, this is supposed to be negative, excuse me, negative 100. So therefore, that's going to add this amount back into here. So now I'm back at 600 for this account at my back at the 150209. I don't remember it being that. Was it that before? Did I think I subtracted it, that's why. Okay, so in this case, it was 1877.62, right? Plus, no, in this case, I'd have to minus. That's a negative number. I should be now at the 2253.15, right? Back to where I started before. The 2253.15. So bringing it back up to where I began before I took out from that account. Right? So again, my refund is for 375.53. $375.53. 375.53. And I'm going to make a note here. Okay. All right. Good so far?
Yep.
Okay, so that was the 18th. So let's go ahead and finish off the 18th. So then when we come back, we just go dive right into the 20th. So in this case, we end up selling 200 mugs at $10 each for cash. So in this case, right, if I sold a total of 200 mugs at $10 each, what is my total sales?
2,000.
How much tax am I charging?
165.
God, what am I doing? Okay, so here I am, equal round. Okay, I'm going to go this number, 2000 times 0.025, comma 2. Should give me 165. So in grand total, I should be getting $2,165. Okay. So then now I need to calculate my cost of goods sold. So back to the inventory worksheet. Okay. Today's the 18th. We sold 200. So in this case, how much is going to be my cost per item? I only have one batch of inventory left. So I'm only left with my 375. So what's my total cost of goods sold here?
$751.05.
751.05. So therefore, I need to update my inventory because I no longer have 600. I only have 400 left. And of course, I'm no longer at 225315. 22, oops, equal 225315 minus 751.05 will give me a grand total of 1502.10. 1502.10. So then the number I'm looking for is the 751.05. 751.05. All right, and we sold 200 mugs. Okay. So we're gonna stop here for today. For the break. Okay, when we come back, we'll continue on with the rest of the scenario. Okay, so let's go ahead. It is now 9:54. So go ahead and take your 20-minute break, and please be back no later than 10:15.